This is part one of a series of videos of questions and answers with artist Mark A. Foltz to get a little insight and understanding of what makes Mark tick. So our first question today is, why do most of your customers or people who collect you label you as the end of day artist, or AKA Dark Mark?
Okay, so we're starting this interview now?
Yep.
Okay, let me turn this down a little bit. Okay, well, that's kind of like a two-part question, but I'll go ahead and answer the first part that you're asking me. And a lot of people started calling me this because I started painting a lot of end-of-day scenarios, probably back in the late 90s, and then I kind of eased up on them a little bit. And I started painting, of course, a lot of really um, kind of dark paintings, you know. A lot of stuff was grotesque and strange. Still had a lot of end of day scenarios added to it, like the rapture paintings and stuff that I painted. Yeah, but I think in general they started calling me that because I started painting scenes uh, of prophecy and things that were in the Bible, and I kind of did it in a grotesque fashion because I want my point to come across that there is a real hell, there is a real fulfillment that's going to happen here. I believe when this all started happening was probably around the George Walker Bush era, 9/11 area, is when I really started painting a lot of end of day prophecy things. I started having like prophetic dreams and things happening, um, disturbing thoughts, disturbing kind of visuals just pop up in my head during dinner or whatever, and I would have to go home and paint them. And people kind of liked this whole idea and started labeling me this in my on my Twitter pages, talking to me and telling me this, and I don't mind claiming that. I mean, that's not a bad thing to claim. I believe that I'm not a prophet of anything. I think I'm a conduit, and God is probably using me just to paint these things. He chose me to paint these things at this time period because I've always questioned God. I asked God, why did you put me in this time? You know, because I paint like 50s, 60s, and 70s type paintings, you know, mid-century type works, and I paint a lot of like Willem de Kooning type styles of works and Francis Bacon styles of works, and a little Goya added to it. I'm pretty messed up, and I felt I was kind of thrown into the wrong time period, but now that I look at things, I actually think I'm in the right time period and that God is using me to paint these type of prophetic type paintings as a wake up call. And these things that I see around me torment me, and I have only one way of getting them out of my system, and that's to paint them and put them on canvas so they don't eat my soul alive and bother me. And give, you know, I already have bad nightmares, I already have problems with manic depression. I'm very manic about how I paint things, and I'll go into a manic painting uh, situation where I'll paint 15, 20 paintings in one day. And most of it will be something that's containing prophecy or end of day scenarios. I think that's where that I kind of got that label. And it's going to continue because I still keep seeing visions, and I see things, you know, like in Matthew 24, Matthew 13 scenarios, Luke 21 scenarios, you know. The Bible talked about when shall these things be. Well, it's throwing these things at me one thing after the other. I'm seeing visions, and so I paint them, and I think it's going to continue to happen. I'm also seeing shadow people, and I'm also seeing a lot of weird things happening right now. So I think there's demons around us and spirits that are coming about, and I think I'm chosen to paint these things. And so, just to put it in a nutshell, that's why I paint dark stuff, to filter it out of my life and to filter it out of me because it bothers me. And that's why I got kind of AKA'd as Dark Mark, because I paint a lot of dark stuff, and a lot of people think I'm a, I don't know, like a satanic person, or I'm painting satanic things, or they think that I'm a person that deals with the Illuminati or whatever. But I dabble in those things, but only because they're there and they bother me, and I filter them. And I believe I'm used as, like I said, as a conduit to record these things. So hopefully I answered that for you, and hopefully I answered that to all those who collect me. And like I said, I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. I paint these end time events, and I think they're going to continue to happen. So I look forward to painting them for y'all. And like I said, I don't mind being labeled as the end of day artist or dark mark, because I am both of those things. And so, like I said, I think it ended up making me who I am now. And so I do paint a lot of mid-century stuff, a lot of modernist abstract stuff. As you guys know, I also paint a lot of graffiti type work. That's not the typical graffiti. I mix street combination, regular graffiti that I see. I don't. I keep it rated R. Okay, I'm not going to go PG with my street scenes and with my graffiti work, but I do mix it with expressionism, because everything I do is full of expressionism, and I will not change that. That's kind of my style. I kind of mix street graffiti along with regular type of graffiti, but I don't make it PG. I'm not going to change it by any means. It's going to be raw. It's going to be offensive to some. Well, I'm sorry. I painted how I see it. I don't pussyfoot around. I'm not going to change what I see or what I've experienced in my life and and what's real. I'm going to stay raw. I'm going to stay what's real, and that's why that's also considered dark. And so they call me Dark Mark, and I don't care. It doesn't bother me that much. I just want to let people know that I'm not a Satan worshiper or whatnot, or or believer in some of those dark things. I'm just saying they're there, and I paint them, and I'm glad that the spirit side's on my side. I mean, I deal with some strange things, and I've seen some strange things. I'm not going to go into that. You could probably look at some of my videos and see that I've dabbled in some of the dark things, and it's just the nature of the beast. But you know what? I am pretty certain that I'm called to do this, and so I'm going to go ahead and end this video here, because I don't really want to talk too much more about that. I hope I clarified that, and like I said, it is what it is, and I'm going to continue to do it because I love doing it, and hopefully I'll be able to answer some more of your questions later. Thanks, guys. Peace out.